So as you're going through your awakening process, you're going to run into all the conspiracy theories out there, all the conspiracy stuff. You know, 9/11, the Federal Reserve, the global elite, the international bankers, the Illuminati, the Council of 300, the Bilderbergers, the Bohemian Grove, etc., etc., all the way to the ultimate reptilian overlords that run that were the Anunnaki, and that created the desert religions that then poisoned the Western world and got us away from nature. All true, by the way. But here's the thing: turbo conspiracy and always looking for the evil boogeyman in the bushes, you end up feeding that system. So you will trust nothing because you've been so hurt by the system. On the back of my book, I have a little tagline that says, "What if almost everything you've ever been told is wrong?" And so as you start awakening, coming from normal programming, the flag, our country, blah, 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 America's the best, or America's the craziest, or Muslim is good, or our religion, blah, whatever your programming is, and you start waking up, and you start seeing behind the scenes more and more, you're going to be shocked. You're traumatized. Daddy didn't know best. Mommy didn't know best. I've been betrayed. This is very hurtful, very painful. And then you almost go into defensive mode. I don't trust anybody or anything. So then things like this can happen when someone, and I'm going to use some public figures here because we relate to it, when maybe a Russell Brand appears on some shows and starts talking about these deeper behind-the-scenes scenarios, 9/11, reptilian overlords, the Illuminati, whatever, people will, if you become hyper-conspiracy, so untrusting, you become so caught in the fear porn, so into the nihilism that it's all so horrible, and as you start waking up, you start mistrusting everything, you know? And you can go into hyper-conspiracy land, or it's all nihilism, doom and gloom, horrible, we're doomed. And some people have done this. Some famous people, or people relatively well-known, that have gone into these areas and start to study what's really going on behind the scenes on Earth, you know? Not what we've been programmed to believe, not what the television says and so forth. But be careful here, and I'm going to use a public example, because public people, we understand, it's just in our collective, right? So when a Russell Brand, English comedian, if you don't know who he is, when he starts talking about some of this stuff, about the spiritual awakening, some of the shenanigans going on behind the scenes, people in the truth movement or in the awakening movement, and they think they are, right, will start saying, Russell's working for the Illuminati. He even said so in an interview. That's going into crazy conspiracy land. And I'll show you another one. This is an ancient mudra, an ancient Vedic mudra, a Buddha mudra. You know, not this Buddha isn't doing it, but many do. That has to do with awake. It's just part of the energetic hand movements. Now, conspiracy land people that go into paranoid conspiracy land will go, that's the symbol for 666, because this is a 6 and that means 1, 2, 3. They'll see an Illuminati hiding in every bush. Not just the ex-president Bush, but in every other bush around them too. What this does is it gets you away from, it's an understandable process. Once you've been betrayed, my husband betrayed me and lied to me. Now I don't trust any man at all, and I will cut my hair off and get 3 dogs or 500 cats and avoid relationships. Now I'm being a little strong there, pointing out what the feminine can do. Men do the same thing, right? When we overreact to something, we go too extreme the other way, the extreme. So the thing is, we're learning here to balance the polarities. So if then when actual truth starts coming out, I'm sure there's some people out there going, Alex Jones is a total shill, and David Icke is, I'm going to try to out-conspiracy you. I have the only real truth. Now I'm acting this out to show the idiocy of it. That's the human ego. That's the human, fearful ego. That's the wanting to blame the outer instead of working on the inner. Every real spiritual teacher has said, seek ye first, look into yourself, who am I? Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven within yourselves, right? And heal that. As long as you're blaming, doing the blame game, the outer blame game, they are doing this to us, right? And you are perpetuating the idea that you are a powerless victim, then you are actually contributing to the game. You are actually working for the very, quote, Illuminati that you are angry at and fighting or trying to expose. That's what feeds that whole monster machinery. So be careful of over-conspiracy, hyper-conspiracy, getting lost in conspiracy land and everyone is an evil Illuminati, and because you're not, you're dealing negative. Negative can never, you can't out-negative negative. You just dig a deeper hole. You need to shift into, who am I? Feel the God source within yourself. Find the eternal energies of the fountains of youths inside your own 0-point energy fields. The inner body awakening, the alchemy process, the heart energy are my contributions to activating individual people. Because the collective unconscious, the collective fear projecting on them, projecting our collective own subconscious fears onto them, whoever they are out here, keeps the game going. And until we heal individuals, enough individuals healed is what shifts the planet. Osho used to say, if you can get 1,000 Buddhas on the planet, the game is completely over. There's no more darkness. There's the 100th monkey, the 1,000 Buddha syndrome, the 1,000 Buddha syndrome. That's the key. So first, heal yourself. All these other things will really just take care of themselves, in one sense. And if you're led to do particular work or exposing people, exposing particular stuff, okay. But be careful you don't drop into conspiracy land and end up in the vortex of fighting the Hydra, the old Greek thing about if you cut one head off, it grows two. How can you win that game? You can't out-negative the negative. You need to go for life. Feel your life force, literally in your kundalini, in your spinal column, instead of out-negative the mind with hyper-conspiracy and more fear-porn theories. It's a dead end if you end up in that. So this happens occasionally on the way of awakening. You're going to end up with just being overwhelmed with it's just so terrible and horrible. And there's people out there feeding that, whether unconsciously, for the vast, vast, vast majority of it. So be aware and enjoy it. Enjoy the game. Try to keep your sense of humor about it. We are more powerful than any conspiracy that can come against us. Every teacher says this. The source within you is more powerful than the stuff out here. That's why Buddha finds it in him. That's why Babaji creates realities effervescing off his body. That's why Jesus says, that which is in me, he who is in me, is greater than he who is in the world. The world is a reflection of what is inside us. As within, so without. So change the within first, and the without follows. If the people will lead, the leaders will follow. All right, just a little note. Hope that made some sense. Thank you.